Everybody, welcome to another episode of the Game Changers podcast. I'm your host, JJ the Boss, and I'm joined by my co-host, Gnome G, and we got Sweetie guest hosting. What's up, y'all?
What's going on with
Man, we got a jam-packed show, a political show, Trump, Iran, Israel war update. And we talked about earlier, just recently as yesterday, President Trump talking about he was threatening to go into Cuba, right? So Today, it seemed like it's something every day, but today we got our good old boy Pete Hegseth, the chief of the Department of Defense, going to Congress to ask for $200 billion, just like it's $20. They just burning through cash.
This is the same guy that just spent $200 billion on lobster and shrimp, ain't it?
It's the party animal. We forget. This is the party animal. But also we got your president, your good old president, made a fool of himself talking with the Japanese delegation. And the woman I don't know if she was the prime minister of Japan, she looked so uncomfortable, but we're going to get into that. We got that video as well. Making a fool out of herself on the world stage. Another big thing that happened. Iran escalates the attacks on the Gulf states, targeting key oil and gas facilities. They are basically lashing out at every neighboring country, no matter their allegiance. Iran is really desperate right now, and that's wreaking havoc through the Gulf states. As we see that Israel, and we got reports that Israel was not supposed to hit the oil refineries in Iran, and that's coming from President Trump, but they did, and now President Trump is pulling back, he says, because he didn't sanction a hit on the oil refinery and the energy production of the country. So a lot going on in the world, man. A lot going on. Oh, yeah. And how can I forget? Also, we got Benjamin Netanyahu first statement released after the so-called AI video that was out about him, and the speculation that he was indeed wounded or KIA by the Iranian defenses. So a lot of stuff to talk about. Where you want to start at, Noam? Let's get into it. Your boy Donald J. Trump got a lot going on.
I think, man, we should just start off where we are right here. With the Israeli attacks on the Iranian oil fields, and then Iran striking back in Qatar and taking out that major oil field. And really, that's the main thing I feel going into right now, because the world supply of oil, we are at a major point right now with where the oil, how far is oil gonna go up per barrel? Where is America gonna end up trying to pull, or Trump is gonna keep jumping into different countries trying to pull oil out of, and it's looking like Israel is somewhat like sabotaging the United States. If you sit back and look at what's going on, because them attacking Iran the way that they did and attacking those oil fields, it's like, what is the benefit for America? Because we talking about the petrodollar, and we need the trade the oil trade to stay in our favor. This isn't staying in our favor. We are basically shooting our own selves in the foot with this whole backing of Israel. And this is why none of our allies or anybody is even coming to our defense. I mean, Trump even sitting down with that Japanese delegation, that alone, I mean, Japan, they're lucky Japan loves America the way they do, because nobody's even trying to sit down with Donald Trump right now.
Yo, that woman is so uncomfortable, bro. We just gonna get into that video. I want y'all to pay attention to her body language for one.
Why didn't you tell U.S. allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay?
Come on now.
Like people, you know, people, and you know, and the Japanese, they're like many other countries and many other people are very proud and fond, and they remember the tradition of things that have happened throughout their history. So to bring up Pearl Harbor and all of this, like, come on, man, that's not even, you there to strengthen. Trump cannot strengthen relations. He don't know how to do it. He's so cocky.
I mean, you said it. You said it on our show last night. He has no diplomacy skills. He doesn't. He just doesn't.
At all. What do you, I mean, bro, you're in a time of, you need all of the allies that are willing to come and sit down with you. At this moment, don't nobody want to sit down with Trump right now around the world. Who wants to sit down with you other than Netanyahu? And really, we don't even know if he's alive. For one, with these videos, the way that they're looking, and then you basically put yourself with your back against the wall with Iran, which no other country, like we stated on the last show, wants to even deal with. Nobody wants to deal with Iran when it comes to military forces. So why are you sitting down with the one ally that wants to sit down with you, and you still making a fool of yourself? Crazy.
It is crazy, for real. It reminds me of the time when right on TV how he talked to the Ukrainian president that time. Remember? It was embarrassing. And it's unbecoming of a leader of the stature of the, president of the United States. It's a lot, man. It's just, but that's the government we're living under right now in this present time. Also, with this, you mentioned Bibi Netanyahu coming out and saying, he's alive. So let's get into his first appearance since being deemed, killed in action.
Just want to say, I'm alive, and you're all witnesses. And I want to close these opening remarks with one other fake news, and that is that Israel somehow dragged the U.S. into a conflict with Iran. Does anyone really think that someone can tell President Trump what to do? Come on. President Trump always makes his decisions on what he thinks is good for America, and may I add, I think what is also good for future generations. In this case, those interests are absolutely clear, and so is the clarity of our achievements. It is often said that you can't do revolutions from the air. That is true. You can't do it only from the air. You can do a lot of things from the air, and we're doing, but there has to be a ground component as well. There are many possibilities for this ground component, and I take the liberty of not sharing with you all those possibilities.
Mr. President, do you intend to lift sanctions on Iranian oil, and do you intend to potentially put U.S. troops or more troops in the region?
No, I'm not putting troops anywhere. If I were, I certainly wouldn't tell you, but I'm not putting troops. And I actually thought the numbers would be worse. I thought that it would go up more than it did. I wanted to put out that fire. And I said, if I do that, oil prices will go up, the economy will go down a little bit. I thought it would be worse, much worse, actually. I thought there was a chance it could be much worse. It's not bad, and it's going to be over with pretty soon.
He says it's gonna be over with pretty soon.
Yeah, and just to go back on what Netanyahu has said there, how he said that nobody can tell Trump what to do. For one, we know you're one of the people that tell Trump what to do. Then he said he does what is in the best interest of America. Okay, we know we need to switch America over and plug in Israel. All right, it's not in the best interest of America. It's the best interest of Israel, right? So we need to switch those words away and put Israel there. And then he also said, there at the end, he said that, what did he say there at the end of that? Where he said, I'm forgetting what he said in there, but we know that Trump is for the interest of Israel because Israel has a black cloud over American politicians. We pretty much know that by the way that these politicians are moving. When anytime Israel says or does anything, they're moving in the best interest of them, not for the American people and the American economy. If they were, we wouldn't be in Iran. We wouldn't have any oil fields hit. The Strait of Hormuz would not be being fought over right now. None of these things would be occurring. So I just feel like Netanyahu is the devil in the flesh, and he's doing whatever he needs to do to further the Greater Israel Project. And once again, even if that is really Netanyahu, and we're just seeing an AI image, because I've already seen people call out that video, saying that video may not even be really Netanyahu. So
I just want to say, I'm alive, and you're all
He says,
witnesses.
"I'm alive."
And I want to close these opening remarks with one other fake news, and that is that Israel.
yeah, so there's people saying that his hand, like on the left side on the podium, was like going through the podium, or they were catching glitches. People were going through it. So
Yeah, I saw the first video they were catching glitches on this one. I hadn't seen anything about this one. This happened today, right?
so I
Yeah,
mean,
I think that one came out today.
yeah, it did.
so-
I mean, he gave him recently.
So just you keep mentioning the Greater Israel Project. Can you elaborate on that for us and tell our viewers what that is, what that consists of? Because I don't think, like us as Americans, we don't visualize these things. I don't think we know.
Well, Israel has somewhat of some type of power over the majority of the Middle East that you see on this map. You know, the Jordan, Syria, Iraq, all that is because either America has bases there or has some type of military or agreement with that country, and Israel is basically tied in with America. So
You know what it is? Those Federal Reserve banking, Federal Reserve banking system that's touched every inch of America. I mean, every inch of the civilized world, and everybody who it hasn't touched, they've been deemed as terrorists.
Exactly. And Iran in that area is the only country, not only, but the one that only poses a threat to Israel in their plan to turn that all into Israel, because they feel like this land is promised to them. All of this is promised to them, so they're trying to fulfill their prophecy of having all of this land to build out the Greater Israel. So Iran is the last piece throughout all these different presidents that we've had, really since George Bush Sr. on up. You could say they've been working for Israel to get to where we're at today, with Donald Trump going after Iran. So
Bro, this is a dirty game, though. This is a dirty game. When we start talking about bombing oil refineries, because where does that lead to? If all the oil refineries get blown up, what does that leave us in the world's oil economy, where we need oil for every fucking thing?
And this is where, if you're not using your brain and not thinking that it's Israel themselves trying to sabotage America, because I feel, and I think a lot of people feel this as well, Israel is trying to take over that trade. They want to be the mainstay. America, yeah, we're doing it, but they want to take over that trade eventually and be the superpower. As soon as they don't need us, they're gonna throw us to the side. You know.
But
Trump
and that brings another. Oh, my bad. Go ahead. Finish your point.
No, well, Trump is throwing his cabinet members to the side, and all these people are quitting, because he wants his destiny to be fulfilled for his family and his legacy. So he's doing everything and anything for that himself. But the thing is, he's doing the same. What he's doing to other people and what he's trying to do for his own legacy. This is what Netanyahu and the people of Israel are doing to him. They're using him to get to their ultimate goal, and that is to take over the Middle East and eventually take over the whole world and run the whole world through their own ideology and evil ways, you should say. You know, that's what they're basically trying to do. And Trump is just a pawn in the game.
Needless to say, you don't trust Netanyahu one bit. You don't.
No,
you feel like he is hell bent on using the United States as. You basically think that he sees us as cattle. We're just tools.
Well, that's goyim. You know, that's what the Zionists call goyim. Is that's the term, and not that's the term goyim, where all of the people that are not a part of what they got going on are all just disposable. As long as we get to where we need to get to, we can dispose of all the goyim, all the cattle.
Man, oh man. So we got that going on one hand, where we're being pulled into a war by Israel and Bibi Netanyahu, and we got Trump reaching out to allies, and I just feel bad for the little poor Japanese lady, man. She just looked so uncomfortable, and it's a shame that these people have to deal with people so just out of touch. I don't know what to say, but out of all of this, Pete Hegseth, the Department of Defense, goes back to Congress to ask for another $200 billion with a B. They go to Congress to ask for $200 billion for the Iran war, and he says it takes money to kill bad guys. It's the level of arrogance to me, man. People are really dying, people are really suffering, but the level of arrogance these people show is so disgusting.
The world,
Well,
the Middle East, our ungrateful allies in Europe, even segments of our own press should be saying one thing to President Trump. Thank you. Thank you for the courage to stop this terror state from holding the world hostage with missiles while building or attempting to build a nuclear bomb. Thank you for doing the work of the free world. Yesterday's ceremony reminded us why we fight. Not for nation building or democracy promotion, but to crush direct threats to America, Americans, and our interests. We fight to win, and we are winning.
$200 billion. We need, and it's been how long? 2 weeks? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
We need another $2 billion, $200 billion.
Yeah, they're there for a reason. They will not really tell us why they're there. People like us, podcasters, journalists, other nation states, and just all of the other countries, the allies, everybody is really trying to figure out why they're doing this. And he sat up there and said, "Oh, we're fighting to make sure that the interest of America, and to crush anybody that's against that. We're not fighting for anything else, and this, that, and it's like, So why don't we really know? Because it's not over nuclear weapons. We know it's not over no nuclear weapons. Iran said they'll do whatever they need to do to make sure that nuclear weapons talks go well, and there's no problems, and we keep good diplomacy between the with nuclear weapons. So it never was about nuclear weapons. They tried to America. We try to say, oh, Iran did something where we had to strike. No, you guys aren't. You guys are trying to leave out the key point, and we know what the key denominator is in this whole thing: Israel and not Netanyahu. Okay, this is why we are in Iran. We are not there for the freedom of America and to keep America free and to fight against terrorists. And no.
But me as an American, I'm patriotic as anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I love America. I love the freedom that we enjoy. But should my tax dollars be going over there for a war that my Congress didn't approve, and 200 billion, just like it's nothing. Just like we just talking about $100 here. Come on, bro. We how sustainable is this when we're already in an economic downturn? And we're going to be plunged further into by a war. We know wars are not good for business, and we were
petrodollar, which you guys are trying to so-called protect. Well, I mean, oil fields is burning. The actual oil that we need to make the gas is getting burned right now. So
I will say not as much. This oil. Europe is more dependent on this oil that's being burned because, of course, America does have other alternative energy sources. We have the liquefied natural gas. Now we got all this other, energy, right? But America is, in order to project power around the world, they have to, open up the Strait of Hormuz and make sure everything is in line for the economy to keep going. But for that specific oil, Europe. That's why now those same countries that Trump asked for help to kind of secure the Strait of Hormuz, those same countries now are sending some assets to be able to secure, some of that trade going through that Strait of Hormuz, because they start feeling it in their pocket. In a week or two, I mean, you can bring a whole economy down.
I mean, we could see some things just shut down completely. I mean, imagine, we talked about Cuba last night and how that whole country is, I think it's still out without power. It's been out without power for forever, for right now, I think for a minute. I don't know exactly how long, but
who we talking about?
To say that Cuba.
What'd you say? Oh yeah, Cuba, exactly.
Yeah,
with this.
Yeah, but I'm just bringing the point of Cuba that imagine another country, their whole economy just collapses. That was the point I was trying to make. Cuba is in a little different situation because their economy has been basically controlled by America for forever long, and they, with the trade embargo and all that. But like you said, them needing the Strait of Hormuz to be open, imagine a major economy just collapsing because no oil or no gas, can get over to a country.
France or Great Britain.
Yeah.
They're shut down because they ain't got enough oil.
Yeah, see,
there would be a war. There would be a war.
Right. So this is it. People aren't saying nothing about Cuba because Cuba doesn't really have the power of a country to have that much of an impact on the rest of the world. But if a first world country just shuts down, that spells trouble for everybody. You know what I mean? That's not a good thing.
I'm just stuck on this $200 billion Pete Head said want for some damn 2 more weeks of, because how much long, how long does 200 billion last us? Are we talking another week? Another 2 weeks? Because he's saying that this is going to be one of the biggest strikes or one of the largest. They're going to try to go ahead and end the war right here with these $200 billion.
I'm telling you, man, America sound like they just want a nuke. They just want to drop a nuke. That's where they get. That's where they keep feeling like they just keep tiptoeing to them doing a Hiroshima. Like they ready to just go and get the big boys out and destroy Iran by dropping the nuke. Because I mean, how much further are you gonna go? It's like, what is our real plan? And this is the thing: they had no real plan. This is why we're at where we're at right now. 2-3 weeks into this,
There was no plan to begin
there
with.
was no. What was the plan? It was an out of nowhere strike on Iran. Then you are obviously getting. Iran said, "Okay, y'all want to do that?" Started bombing out. Just started going crazy on them, hitting Dubai, hitting Kuwait,
Hitting neutral countries. Hitting
Israel, hitting Tel Aviv. They going crazy. They just started going nuts, and they are giving it to us for real. But our media does not want to say anything about it. We're not really getting the real scoop of what's going on. A lot of our bases got hit. Early on, they hit a huge satellite that both Israel and America needed to see what was going on around in Iran and to keep tabs on what was going on. They hit that out the gate. They got that satellite up out of there. So clearly, that $200 billion is being asked for a reason, because we getting spanked more than likely. You know?
But the arrogance again of Pete Hegseth to say it takes money to kill bad guys.
And once again, this is where the buzzwords, the bad guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. We're all American. We want to be here. We want to be left alone. We want to feel protected and feel free. Okay. But if you're not using your brain, this lets you know the people that we have in power and the people that got voting Trump in, and him putting these kind of people in the cabinet. This is where we're at right here. We got to get the bad guys. Like, come on, man.
But
who's running the show, bruh?
can we also talk about when he's done, when our president is done using these people in these cabinet positions? Because we did recently have what was the guy from counterterrorism?
Joe Kemp.
Yeah, he resigned, right? And one day later, he's under investigation for allegedly leaking classified information.
And this guy is the biggest of the biggest MAGA. He was with anything and everything Trump was doing, anything Trump was on, backing any policies, right there for him. And this man went and put a whole statement on his X account. I don't think we have that, but he had a whole statement of why he had to step down, and this is not what he signed up for.
He still was praising Trump while he was resigning. He still was praising Donald Trump. And what happens to him one day later?
But he didn't agree with him going into Iran, though. I think somewhere in that statement
he definitely did. That's why he resigned. He didn't agree with. He said that the president was manipulated by news sources and this and that. He was trying to deflect the blame from the president, but he said that was the tipping point. That was the reason that he could no longer, in good conscience, serve in the cabinet.
So you have somebody like this, Joe Kemp, he is all the way there with Trump. One of the biggest, straight MAGA, straight, far right. I'm gonna be here to fight for America. And he left. He's gone. Mm-hmm. So, for anybody, far right, MAGA, all you guys, if the best of you guys, and I mean, obviously there ain't too many of y'all that, there ain't too many of the best. So the best of so-called MAGA has left the Trump cap. So this shows you the blatant, just jumping out of the window, you should say, to go over and fire, and bomb and strike Iran was not thought out. because counterterrorism backed out. The head of counterterrorism. This man's supposed to be locked in right now.
He's supposed to be actually for real. So who we got? Who we got steering the ship, man? What the fuck? What the fuck is going on?
This dude's supposed to be locked in. You know, like when you watch a movie, like any political movie, and they're sitting in a boardroom, or they're sitting in one of the high tech rooms with everybody that's sitting in there doing mass surveillance on a country, and everybody's at their computers or boards. It's like 500 people in a room, and this guy Joe Kent's supposed to be the one in there leading, talking about get the cameras zoomed in on Quadrant 35.
For real.
He's supposed to be the one there, calling shots and telling them, no, don't go over here, go over there. This is the dude who backed out.
This is the dude who backed out. But one day later, he's under investigation.
Yeah, and see, that shows you. Because we all know with the way the Supreme Court allowed Trump to basically do what he wants. Because that's what, this is what people forget. Remember all of the things that he had passed for him when he became president. All the things he was tearing down with Elon when he became president. All the things he was getting passed.
All the safeguards.
All the safeguards, taking all the safeguards down so he could do what he wanted to do. When you really sit back and think about it, this is probably the only thing that he really planned for, was that I know at some certain time within my presidency, I'm gonna be wanting to do anything and everything at all times. Not just for him trying to get that third term, but there's gonna be something that happens where I'm gonna want to be able to do anything and everything at all times, and I gotta make sure the Supreme Court allows me to do that. And we know that he basically took over the FBI. I mean, he put one of the dumbest dudes you could put as the head of the FBI.
He fired the dude who was investigating him. He fired multiple guys who were investigating. He investigated guys that were investigating him. It's crazy, man.
So, him getting the FBI, Joe Kent getting FBI put on him is not really it's not surprising, because like we've been saying throughout this show and throughout other political shows that we've had on the Game Changers podcast, Donald Trump will use you, abuse you, and throw you on the side of the road and drive off with anybody else that is going to be with him. And that's it. I mean, this is for Trump's legacy. This is for his family's legacy. And most importantly, this is for Israel. It has nothing to do with America. America is being used right now. We're on America.
$200 billion is being fucking.
None of this is here for America. They're sitting here telling us all of the money that they've been printing. They've been printing all this money. None of this is going into the healthcare. None of this is going into the roads, into the schools. None of this is going to make sure that even our home base is really being protected. They taking the money and going somewhere else and then telling us that we got to protect ourselves from these people. When you could really, you know what I mean? That's not, y'all going over there to do what y'all want to do with the money, and y'all really stealing. That's really what y'all doing. You printing that money, you stealing that money. That's what's going on. They enriching themselves. That $200 billion probably won't even be, if they get that money, it probably won't even be used over there to do all that. They stealing the money. The man already got the man already printed up, already got billions of dollars to buy lobsters and seafood. So,
man, we got to do something, man. I don't know. We need to do a runoff election. Like, we need to say the coup d'etat. So, but it's crazy, man. We just gonna keep paying attention though, for sure, because it's damn near like a fucking soap opera at this point.
Yeah, we're gonna have more. We already know that there's gonna be more things to come out. The Iran war is clearly not going anywhere. This is the impact of what has happened just in the last few days. It's gonna be an impact on America. I mean, it's definitely gonna be impacted. The one impact that's definitely gonna be happening because of this war, because of America, Israel, and Iran, and all of this with the Middle East and the oil fields, will be inflation. Prices will go up with everything. Prices are going to go up with everything. All the daily things that we do, from going to the grocery store, obviously, like we just saying with oil, the main topic, filling up that gas, from state to state, filling up your tank. Just the daily things to get around, any type of, even people who take public transportation, your bus fare is probably going to go up eventually. All these things,
all because of some shit that happened in the Middle East.
Yeah, I mean, all of this is the biggest impact. Food on the table for families, when people want to try to go to the store with $200-$300, that's already not really doing enough for most families of, $2, $3, $4. You can't do too much. You need $500+ to go to the grocery store. So, I mean, the next 6-7 months, you might need $1,000. Keep playing, I'm just
and they
saying,
sent $200 billion over. They asked them for $200 billion to send over to the fucking fight some people who no threat to us.
And we know that's gonna lessen the value of the dollar. Once again, that's gonna be $200 more added into the money supply. We just keep going further into debt, and we just keep supplying Israel with what they want, so they can fulfill their prophecy, their God-given prophecy that they want to fulfill, and they're going to use the American people to do so. And that's what we're living in right now, and that's how we're going to be affected in our pockets. We're going to get affected in our pockets, and that's just what it is. And that's not going to be good for just the day-to-day life for the average American that's trying to take care of their family. People are already struggling as it is, and this is why the majority of Americans do not support this war, because it had nothing to do with supporting actual America and making sure America was stronger and make America great again. Boy, that's the most that got to be the most ass backward statement that you could even use right now. For you to throw on a MAGA hat right now, man, you got to be the most lamest of the lame to not see that he's doing the total opposite of trying to make us great. Because this is not taking us anywhere positive. So we're gonna keep our eyes on the headlines. We're gonna continue to keep bringing you guys Iran war updates, Trump updates, and everything that has to do with politics right now, man. Because that's what's affecting the world right now. We're at a turning point here in 2026. So here at the Game Changers Podcast, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna continue bringing you updates on what's going on in the world, and you guys just keep the post notifications bell on, so every time we go live, you guys can check us out, man. So we'll holler at y'all. Y'all have a good night.
See you next time.